an open spot. So that way just flies through that open spot.
Look at this little pig. That's cute. Very cute. Did you put this pig paper clip on?
There, just the one. Yeah, good. That's you.
And blast.
He's very good. Sit there long. I think that's it.
Wait a couple minutes here and the clock, and haven't corrected the clock yet, so it's 11 o'clock. Take a motion to adjourn.
Wow. There's one.
Okay, I think it's 10 a.m. or 10 a.m. somewhere. I'd like to call the meeting to order. If there's anybody watching publicly, if you wish to be heard, if you would use the raise your hand feature on Zoom and state your name and address for the record, then we can put you on the video. Thank you. Number 2, motion approving the minutes of October 7th, 2024 meeting of the Midland Development Corporation. Is there any public comment? Any discussion from the board? Call for a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Have a motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Motion approving the minutes of October 8th, 2024 meeting of the Midland Development Corporation. Is there any public comment? Any discussion from the board? I'll call for a motion for approval.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 4, resolution approving the execution of the second amendment to that certain lease agreement with Castilian Corporation for certain real property described as approximately a 125 acre tract of land out of section 33, block 40, township 1 South TNP Railroad Company Survey, Midland County, Texas. Provides for MDC reimbursement to construct a new road for site services in the amount not to exceed $30,000. Is there any public comment? Any discussion from the board? I'll call for a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, resolution authorizing the execution of amendment to that certain economic development agreement between Midland Development Corporation and Starfighter Space Texas Inc. and authorizing payment therefore. The amendment provides for the name change from Starfighter Space Texas Inc. to Starfighters International Inc. Company still incorporated in Texas, also provides for administrative adjustments to lease reimbursements in a temporary hangar at MAF being utilized by starfighters. Is there any public comment? Any discussion from the board? I'll call for a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Presentation of the October 2024 monthly expenses and economic development activity from the Midland Development Corporation Executive Director and staff. Correct.
Thank you. Good morning, board. Before moving into the report, I wanted to introduce you all to Ken Doyle. He's the newest member of the NBC team, and we're very happy to have him on board. He's doing great work already. So excited to have him here. Regarding the financials for October, this was the first month of the new fiscal year. Sales tax receipts were down 2.75% compared to last year. However, they are above budget in terms of anticipated revenue. And last fiscal year was an all-time record for sales tax receipts, so pretty much in line with last year, aside from a slight decrease. Regarding the financial statements, they are in your packet, the income statement and the balance sheet. There were no noteworthy expenditures in the month. I'm happy to answer any questions, but there's not a lot to point out. But if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer. Aside from that, I would like to point out that the high-speed aerospace transportation workshop will be in 2 weeks. So all of the board members are welcome to join. Just let me know what portion of that you want to come to, and I've heard from a couple of you already, so thank you. And I will let Gabby go into our marketing report.
Good morning. Over on social media, we are now well over 4,000 followers on Facebook. On all the social media platforms that we post on, we pretty much had the same top ranking posts in terms of engagement. So that was Sammy's BRE visit with the new tag store on Texas Avenue. Some pictures from the renaming ceremony over at the PA school at Midland College, and then some local recommendations for fall and Halloween that we posted. On Facebook, we posted a reel, just a walkthrough of Summit Center, now that that's open over there. And that is now sitting at 50,000 views, and all the feedback's been really positive. So that's awesome to see the community get behind that. But yeah, just some different things on LinkedIn as well. I looked over at our reach just to see where we're going. That's in Midland, Houston, Dallas, Austin, Lubbock, and Denver. So good to see that our content's going that direction. And then Instagram, the Summit Center reel over there had 2,500 views. That's just a look at what was posted. That new tag store is over on Texas Avenue. They'll also be one of our speakers at Founders Blend this month. And then that's the new signage over at the PA school after Nadine and Tom Craddock. It was great to go and see that as well this month. Some other activities, we are participating in the Chamber's Midland Guide that they put out every year. So we restructured our ad to highlight the aerospace activity in Midland with our tagline that we're taking into the new year, fueling growth and reaching new heights. So just to bring some more visibility to the spaceport. And then our newsletter that went out at the beginning of the month, that had a really high open rate this last month at 36.7%, with the highest clicked links with the Omni update and Starfighter's announcement. Over with the Spaceport and Founders Blend, just some updated stats on where our followers are at. On Facebook for the Spaceport, we're at 141 followers, Instagram at 110, and LinkedIn is still doing very well at 236. Again, there's that date about the HSAT workshop where the Spaceport will have some more visibility with our marketing materials that are now updated and fresh. Founders Blend, Facebook reached 500 followers this last month, and Instagram sitting at 835. LinkedIn's at 139. Our October meeting was at the Seed, so we're concluding our little group series over there, and we'll be back at Midland College. Yeah, we'll be, oh, that's the wrong graphic. Man, I have messed up Founders Blend graphic the last couple of days. That's November 6th, this coming Wednesday at Midland College in the Carrasco room. That QR code will take you to the correct information, but we'll hear from the tag store and then Midland Pizza Factory. They'll be presenting as well over there. But that's what I have. If anyone has any questions or if you're confused about Founders Blend, I can let you know where you actually need to go.
Awesome. Well, this month I met with a few businesses. Again, I am part-time now, and so my schedule has changed a little bit. But I still had BRE visits. I heard a lot this month about capital and labor once again being the biggest factors impacting businesses, especially capital. I mean, it is expensive to have a business right now, and that comes down to the cost of stamps, to groceries, to employees asking for more money because they too, are seeing their budgets get tighter and tighter. And so I've heard a lot about that. And then labor, again, is just something that you hear about month after month, but it's not so much that the labor isn't there. This month I heard a lot about the labor being there, but not finding a good fit. Making sure that the people that are available fit the culture, fit the work ethic, things of that nature. Some of the big takeaways, I met with a few retail businesses and they talked about how retail shopping habits, they are changing in Midland because Midlanders are changing. And also Midlanders have this now. And so shopping habits have changed drastically. And so they're having to adapt. I talked to a few retailers that said they're changing their hours to be outside of 6 p.m. Because if you get off work and you are done at 5 and you only have that hour to make it out there, that can be really tricky. And so trying to stay open later. And then also remaining open on Sundays. This is a big one, especially if you have a store where people want to feel things or try things on. That extra day over the weekend can sometimes be their best day as far as sales. It's just a matter of sacrificing that. But then on the flip side, they have a hard time recruiting employees to work those days because there are so many jobs in Midland that can only work until 6 and have Sundays off. So it is hard to compete. You have to then, of course, pay that employee more. So those are just things that are being navigated. And then also I heard, another thing as far as retail, they have to compete against Walmart, Target, and Amazon. And so that means they're going to have to change the days of the week that they're selling goods and the hours that they are selling goods. I also heard that the best way for them to find their employees is actually finding their customers that are really loyal customers or really know the products, whether it's a mom coming in there and she's like, hey, I'm buying this for my high school student. And that high school student could be a good potential employee. So I've heard that that's a good way to find retail store workers. And then growing too fast that's such a thing. This month I heard from another really fast growing business and they're concerned about not sustaining the growth that they're experiencing and knowing what local business coaching resources there are for business owners when it comes to managing more employees, more clients, more revenue. In Midland, there's a lot of resources for a small company getting started and navigating that. Okay, well, once you're well established, how do you manage a big team? And so finding those resources can be kind of tricky. And then community connection, the whole goal of my BRE visits is to connect our local entrepreneurs to the resources that we already have in Midland. We have so many of them. And it's also just to hear them out because being a business owner is really hard and sometimes they just need to vent and explain to you what they're experiencing because that way it's easier for us to make decisions that can help them. So we connect them to resources, the local colleges, city resources, the Entrepreneurial Challenge, the Small Business Development Center, the Chamber, Founders Blend, and the Permian Basin Workforce Development Board. So this month we actually connected a fast growing local business with a grant from the Workforce Commission. And so that just goes to show that hour of chit chatting with them can be really beneficial. And then as far as Founders Blend, not to sound like broken record, Gabby shared all of that already. Wednesday will be the day after the election. So we're hoping that there is good turnout on Wednesday because we've had a good turnout. Something that we talked about with our community partners is we've kind of switched out every few months from location to location. And it's kind of pigeonholed some locations. For instance, UTPB is gonna get the fall and Second Story would get the spring And so we heard from those partners that they would like to see if we could change it up on a month-to-month basis so that we can have a little bit more variety. And I think that's gonna be okay because most of the time we send the info out on a monthly basis and people are following what we have in the emails and on social media versus, okay, well, it's month 3 at Midland College, so that's where we're going. So how does that sound to you guys, mixing it up from location to location on a month-to-month basis? Perfect. Well, we're looking forward to doing it at the Crosco Room. This will be our first time doing it at the Crosco Room. And that's because we outgrew the petroleum or I'm blanking out on the name of the building that they just.
The Jack E. Brown.
Yes, the Jack E. Brown. We outgrew that space, and so we will be in the large Crosco Room.
And circling back to Sammy's point about the workforce commission, sometimes when she meets with businesses, it doesn't make sense for them to request assistance from the MDC. They don't need capital, they don't need incentives, but for this specific business, they're well-funded and capitalized, but what they needed was specific training for their employees. And we were able to connect them with the workforce board and the workforce commission locally. So then they have state funds that are available to be deployed for on-site training for this company, which is adding employees really rapidly in Midland. So there are a lot of resources. Not all of the companies we meet with need incentives from the MDC, but they need something from another partner, and we can make sure that connection happens. So thank you for doing that, Sammy.
Thank you. Any public comment? Any more discussion from the board? Okay, it is approximately 10:15. At this time, we'll move to executive session. Pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.